I'm going to get into what you need in order to experience freedom and achieve and identify and focus all your energy in the purpose of your existence here on earth. But prior to that, I want to talk about adversity. Getting through adversity. How does that look? Let me tell you, I love Robert Kiyosaki in the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. It literally changed my life when I was like 19 years old. But he talks about a rat race. That is great. It works as an analogy for people to understand business and how to invest in real estate. Fantastic. But let me tell you, the world is not a rat race. The world we live in, we're all running in a dog's race. And why do I say that? Well, let me tell you, you're going to be fighting in that dog race with dogs. You're going to be fighting with dogs. And dogs, I admire dogs. Do you have a dog? I have a dog, and I love my dog. And he has two things that I admire of him. He has strength, and he has determination. Let me tell you a quick story. I was at my home, and our home is on top of a hill, and it's surrounded by just raw land, by just mountain hills with a lot of brush. And there's rattlesnakes there. But there was a rattlesnake that had come into our property. It got through the barriers that we have in our property. And as I was feeding my dog, I was serving him food, I heard a little bit of a rattle behind me. And I was like, what is that? And I kind of like ignored it. But then my dog wouldn't stop barking behind me. He was so persistent that I turned around. And as I turned around, this diamondback rattlesnake was ready to strike me. It was already coiled up, ready to strike me. And my dog was fighting that snake. Well, let me tell you, dogs are awesome. But the dogs that I'm talking about today in the marketplace are dogs that sometimes are not going to play by the rules. But you and I are not dogs. We're going to stay righteous. They might be with dirty tricks. They might be corrupted. They might try to cheat you to win. But you still have to win. And you're going to win straightforward, in their face, facing them. But you're going to, you know what you're going to do? Let me tell you what I did when I was establishing my company, my first company, AH Construction. I felt like I was the underdog. I felt like the world was against me, but I knew that no matter how much talent, how much skill, how much desire they had, I was going to outwork them because my heart was the biggest heart. They might have more skill than me, but they don't have the heart that I have and the determination that I have. That is exactly why you're going to win, because you're going to have the right heart. Now, on your journey to success, it's not going to be all sunshine and rainbows. It's not. On my way to success, you know what happened? On my way to triumph, you know exactly what happened? Let me tell you. I had a brother who got paralyzed. I lost two uncles because my family could not afford to pay for his medical bills because they didn't have medical insurance. Let me tell you, in my way to success, my parents divorced. In my way to success, I had friends that stopped talking to me because they said, Chris, you're not humble enough to hang out with us. Because my visions were so big, they were outgrowing my world. But you know what? There's going to be times in your life when you got to shake that tree. And when you shake that tree, the right people are going to fall off. The right people are going to fall off. Now, this dog race that you and I live in and run in, you don't have to be a dog. As a matter of fact, I don't see any of you or myself as a dog. I see you as a diamond. I see myself as a diamond. And let me tell you, the diamond that I'm talking about is a diamond that goes through extreme heat. Diamonds, when they get created, they go through extreme heat. So much they get forged into becoming a diamond. And if that wasn't enough, they're so deep in the core of our earth where they get created, they experience tremendous pressure. And that pressure continues to wedge them and hone them and forge them into becoming a legitimate diamond. As they're going through that fire, impurities are gone. As they're going through that pressure, they become strong and courageous, unbreakable. The third thing that a diamond goes through, if pressure and going through extreme heat wasn't enough, is it gets cut, and it gets cut, and it gets refined, and it gets refined, and it gets cut, and it goes through that fire and through that pressure, and it gets cut, and it gets cut until it becomes a beautiful diamond. And once it becomes a diamond, let me tell you, diamonds are unbreakable. Diamonds are unbreakable. But the one and only thing that can break a diamond is another diamond. And let me tell you, in the dog race, you're going to have people who are diamonds. They became diamonds, but they kept impurities. They actually have carbon fibers inside of them. So this diamonds, these dogs that you're going out, they can break you too. but they're not playing by the rules that you and I are playing. So understand and keep in your mindset that fighter spirit. You have to truly understand that you are going to be unstoppable because you're a diamond that plays by the rules, that is courageous, that is integrous, but you have to be ready to take the hits. Let me tell you, the reason people fail in business and investing, in marriages, and so many things is because they're not ready for the worst case scenario. As a matter of fact, the two most practical things that military people learn in boot camp is what? Is number one, what to do if their gun chokes up. And number two, what to do if they got and how to carry a dead body. Do you know why? I have an uncle who was very high rank in military who just recently retired. And we're in Hawaii and I was asking him because I get passionate about learning about war because I believe that everything that we see in the physical gets preceded by spiritual warfare. So I want to know, I'm a warrior and I'm fighting right now just talking to you. But let me tell you, as a warrior, you have to understand that you have to be ready for the worst case scenario so the worst case scenario will not take you out. Now, it is time for you to make a decision. You know, a long time ago when I was 18 years old, I'm 40 now, I used to work for this company owned by General Dynamics here in San Diego called NASCO, a shipbuilding company. And there was about 15,000 employees back then. And they will rank you as far as punctuality, how responsible you are, how productive and efficient you were with the materials. I was a pipe fitter back then. I started from ground zero. And as I was starting, I wanted to be the number one. I was actually ranked like employee number 1,040, 1,043, somewhere around there. And I hated that. I disliked that because I'm an Aguilar and I expect perfection out of me. Not that I'm perfect, but I expect perfection because through God, I can be a perfect individual. So I was striving for perfection and I knew I was around somewhere around excellence. And as I was striving for that, I kept on knocking on doors. And one day my supervisor said, Chris, we're going to grant your petition to work next to the number one person in our company in the pipe fitter company. As I met this guy and as I started working back to back with him, let me tell you, I could not beat him. I said, I'm going to go and I'm younger than him. I'm stronger than him. I'll work overtime. I don't care if I get paid or not, but I'm going to outwork this guy because I have the heart. But this guy was a corrupted diamond. He was under the influence of cocaine and I could not outwork them. And you know what happened? What happened is that I got hurt. I fractured 3 of my fingers. And by fracturing my fingers, it was the best thing that could have happened to me. I got put in light duty in graveyard shift, taking care of the vehicles outside the company. And as I was walking in that parking lot, I remember myself thinking as a loser, thinking, whoa, what am I going to do? I freaking suck. I really suck. And if I was transparent with you and vulnerable, there were some tears rolling down. There were some tears coming out of my eyes because I was tired. I said, enough is enough. I wanted to have a beautiful daughter. I wanted to have a beautiful wife one day. I want to have that beautiful home. I wanted to go to Hawaii, to the Bahamas. I wanted to own my own yacht, my jet, have my estate home that I have now. But you know what? I couldn't do it because even though I was doing what was good, I didn't know how to create wealth. And that is exactly what we teach at TCA. But I made a decision. I remembered as if it was yesterday. And I said, showtime with the real Chris Aguilar, stand up. And I got up relentlessly and I started taking massive action. And when people told me no, it was like fuel. It was like firewood and I couldn't stop moving forward. And I got to places in my life where I was going 80%, 90%, 100%. And there's some of you watching this video right now or here in the studio that you might be running 40%. Let me tell you, go 60, go 80, go 100, go 120. And some people have told me, Chris, well, what are you going to do when you're going 120? See, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, but you know what? I'm going to go 140. I'll go 200% if I have to, but I will not stop. Then somebody else asked me a stupid question and said, Chris, what are you going to do when you don't feel like doing it? When you don't feel like doing it? And I said, could you please ask me that question one more time? He said, Chris, what are you going to do when you don't feel like it? And I said, let me be very honest with you. I always feel like it. Because my family, my children, my wife, myself, I always feel like eating. I always feel like giving my wife the best life she deserves. I always feel like being a freaking champion. I always feel like winning. So I don't have days when I don't feel like it. Let me tell you, there might be people out there that might feel like they don't want to get up, might feel like they're not winning. They might feel like losers like I felt in that parking lot. But the reason they're feeling like losers is because they love their sleep more than taking action, because they love being in bed and sleeping more than giving the best to this world, because they're afraid of losing. Let me tell you, if you equip your mind with the mindset of a champion, where you champion yourself, when you're okay in working relentlessly through the night, when it's just you and God, it's not you by yourself, it's actually you and God. But for it to be you and God, you gotta be in convergence. Now, what is convergence? Convergence is living the authentic life that you were engineered to live here on earth. What is the reason for your existence here on earth? Once again, what is the purpose for your existence here on earth? Let me tell you, success is massive action. Success is a product of obsession glued to relentless, massive action. That's exactly what success is. Now, if you're not willing to be obsessed, if you're not willing to put in the work, it's not going to happen. Someone in a podcast just asked me, Chris, do you think that your obsession might be a little addicting? Are you addicted to something? Is an addiction bad for you, or is an addiction good for you? And I said, you know what? Let me tell you. First of all, an addiction is something you shouldn't be doing. And second of all, an addiction is something that hurts you and hurts others. Being obsessed is being the true, authentic self that you were designed to be, wholehearted, going relentlessly for what you were destined to do. Let me tell you, God, He's not a halfway God. If He's going to go and heal Mr. Michael over here, He's not going to go and do a miracle where He's going to half heal someone. Absolutely not. God either heals someone or doesn't heal someone. And you and I were made in His exact image. If you're going to go out and do something, be obsessed about it. Be relentless. Work through the night. Do what you have to do, and you're never going to arrive, because success is not something that you arrive. Success is something you carry inside of you. Success is something that you're going to have to pursue the rest of your life, because it's a purpose, it's a destiny you have here on earth.